Nossa história é muito diferente do que nos ensinaram. Houve uma vez uma civilização que foi aniquilada porque ameaçava os benefícios da indústria do petróleo. O Império Tártaro era uma sociedade que havia descoberto conhecimentos antigos sobre a captação de energia atmosférica. Eles incorporaram bobinas especiais em toda a sua arquitetura e toda a sociedade recebia energia gratuita. Eles também haviam descoberto como manipular frequências e mover objetos, o que lhes permitiu construir uma arquitetura belíssima. Essa é a mesma tecnologia que os antigos usaram para construir as pirâmides. Essa sociedade era muito melhor do que a que temos hoje, já que a energia gratuita permitia que as pessoas se concentrassem menos no trabalho e mais na criação de uma sociedade forte. Essas pessoas prosperaram por anos, até tentarem espalhar sua tecnologia. Os magnatas do petróleo admitiram que a energia gratuita prejudicava seus lucros. Durante anos, eles apagaram menções à existência dessa civilização e inverteram a história. Essa tecnologia foi escondida e pode estar nos arquivos do Vaticano, junto com outros conhecimentos avançados.
Imagine an entire civilization erased by a catastrophe so massive, it buried cities in an instant. This is the theory of the Mudflood and the mysterious fall of Tartária. The story goes that Tartária was a vast and advanced empire, stretching across Eurasia. Its people were masters of architecture and technology, building cities that defied the imagination. But then, something happened. Something so devastating that it wiped Tartária off the map. The Mudflood theory suggests that a global, catastrophic event occurred in the 18th or 19th century, covering entire cities in layers of mud. Buildings were submerged, streets disappeared, and an empire was buried beneath the earth. The evidence? Look around. Ever notice buildings with windows or doors at ground level or even below? Some say these are remnants of structures buried by the mud, hinting at a world that existed before the flood. But why haven't we heard of this before? Some believe the history of Tartária was deliberately erased, hidden by those in power who wanted to rewrite history. Maps were redrawn, textbooks rewritten, and the true story of Tartária was buried along with the mud. The Mudflood theory challenges everything we think we know about the past. What if the history we've been taught is just the surface layer, hiding a buried truth underneath? The evidence is out there, waiting to be uncovered, if you know where to look.
Remember all the great fires? 1888, 1889, 1890, 1891, 1892, 1893. All the world fairs, which were all resets, those were all fires too. Just so happened everything caught on fire. A cow kicked over a lantern. And somehow everything caught on fire. Stone and granite caught on fire. Stone and granite caught on fire. I'm going to say that one more time. So then you start to look at the 1850s to like 1900s and go, well then how much of that is scripted? Seems like a lot of scripting is going on. Well, in 1851 we're going to have a great fire. 1852 we're going to have a great fire. 1853 we'll have a flood. 1854 we'll have a hurricane. And you see it? That's the thing. The more I would dive into the past, into these books, the more I saw the exact same thing on repeat.
Tartária was everywhere, and history as we know it has been completely fabricated. At first we thought maybe the Dark Ages were just unclear, but it turns out they were invented to push a lot of events further into the past. We realized that it wasn't just small parts of history that might be wrong, everything was made up. One fascinating thing is the architecture we find around the world. In almost every city you'll find ancient Gothic-style buildings with incredibly intricate designs. People look at them and say, oh, that's just how they built things back then, but some of these buildings are absolutely stunning. Think about it, if we lived in a feudal society, where everyone was working just to survive, how would anyone have had the time, resources, or motivation to build something so elaborate, and that worked the way they did? These buildings weren't just practical structures like free energy generators, they were artistic expressions. They were built to be functional and beautiful, to celebrate what was being created. But we don't build like that anymore. The complexity and beauty of these structures are clues that we didn't live in the same pay-to-survive system we're trapped in now. Tartária was a global civilization incredibly advanced and powered by free energy, likely based on etheric energy. It existed up until about 200 or 250 years ago. Estimates place its early origins around the mid-17th century, and its destruction came shortly after. They've been lying to you all along.
And we're going to see if the history that we have been given actually lines up with what we see in these pictures. So here we go.
Within this imposing structure, into the great hall where General Electric assembled its galaxy of exhibits, electric devices and marvels of electricity, each designed to play its part in human betterment. Beneath the famous monogram, the entrance to the House of Magic, wonder show of science. Nearly 700,000 people pass through these portals to sit spellbound while mysteries of modern electrical research were clearly explained.
And if we are to remain leaders in quality of product in the future, then it's just up to us to be leaders in pure science research today.
First of all, computers are taking over now. Computers and automation. I think people will be regarded more as statistics than as actual people. I don't think it's going to be so nice. I think it's sort of all machines everywhere.
When that time comes, the whole world will have shrunk to a point, and the traditional role of the city as a meeting place for man would have ceased to make any sense. I only hope that when that day comes, and when the city is abolished, the whole world isn't turned into one giant
Meta.